So, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be on a stage with the President of the United States, the VP, and Bobby Knight. How can it get any better? Only in America, only in Indiana. When I decided to do this 14 and a half months ago, I never would have done it, would not have wasted my time if this man did not do what he did. My wife and family are right over there, but I'll never forget the night. I did turn the TV off at 2:15. I thought it might go later. Went to bed. I'd only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That's all I need. Not as good as the Prez here. I know he gets by on less. But I'll never forget getting up that next morning. And when I saw on the TV, President-elect Trump. That's the reason I'm here. If it hadn't happened, I'd be hunkered down in southern Indiana wondering how to survive. Thank goodness. So, my opponent, who calls himself the hired help, I think you need to do more than that to deserve to be reelected. Thank you. He's the least effective Democratic senator. Sounds like the tired help. He takes all his marching orders from Chuck Schumer. Let's make him the fired help. Let's retire Joe Donnelly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Very successful guy. Did a great job, and this is what he wants to do, and he's going to be very successful at doing what you want to do, which is a lot of great things. So I just want to thank you. And, Mike, we want to thank you for doing this because it's not easy. It's not easy. Thank you, Mike. If Democrats get the majority, one of their first projects will be the socialist takeover of American health care. The Democrat plan would obliterate Medicare and eliminate Medicare Advantage for more than 360,000 Indiana seniors who totally depend on it. Republicans will protect Medicare for our great seniors who earned it and, frankly, have paid for it. And Republicans will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Democrats' plan to destroy health care also includes raiding Medicare to fund benefits for illegal immigrants. I'm sure you don't mind. Does anybody mind? Nobody minds, right? As we speak, Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to violate our laws, overrun our borders, and totally bankrupt our country, because that's what's going to end up. They want to sign illegal aliens up for free health care, free welfare, free education. But what do they really want? They want them to vote because they're going to vote for the Democrat. Illegal immigration costs American taxpayers more than $100 billion every single year, more than 3 times the entire state budget of Indiana. We need to use our precious resources to help our fellow Americans who respect our laws, not illegal caravans who break into our borders and break our laws. Democrat immigration policies not only drain our treasury, but they threaten our communities. Nearly 100% of heroin in the United States enters through the southern border, along with roughly 90% of the cocaine, the majority of meth, and a substantial portion of the ultra-lethal fentanyl killing our youth all over our country. These drugs destroy the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans, and 70,000 Americans every year die from these drugs. Last year alone, our brave ICE officers arrested, listen to this number, more than 127,000 criminal aliens, and they want to get rid of ICE. Can you imagine? Yet Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of ICE. These are great patriots. These are great people. These are people that do a job that nobody in this room wants to do. I don't want to do it. How about you? This guy could do it, I think. But there aren't too many. They want to turn America into a giant sanctuary for violent predators and MS-13 killers. A blue wave would equal a crime wave, very simple. And a red wave equals jobs and security. Republicans believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. And Republicans will always stand with the heroes of ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement. Border security is also a woman's issue. Women want safe neighborhoods for their families, great schools and health care for their children, and they want criminals to be thrown in jail or thrown the hell out of our country. Remember during the election, my election, 16, they were saying, well, I don't think he's going to do well with women. I love women. They're the greatest. I like them much more than I like the men. But I love, and here's the thing. And then remember after we won, they said, came in, they didn't know what was going on. They were devastated. They said, he did unbelievably well with women. What happened, women? And now they're saying the same thing. They're saying, but they say it weakly, because they want to say it quickly, get it over with. I don't think he'll do well with women. But we tried this one 2 years ago. That didn't work out too well. We did so well. And we're going to do well with women again because they do want security. They want security. They don't want these people coming into our country. You just saw the report that was put out. In the caravan, more than 300 people have criminal records and have serious problems that we don't want to get involved with, folks. And we want people coming in, but they have to come in legally. I'm sorry. This election is about security, and this election is about prosperity. For years you watched as we let foreign countries plunder our wealth, shutter our factories, and steal our jobs. But those days, if you haven't noticed, are over. We have added 500,000 manufacturing jobs since the election, soon to go to 600,000, including 32,000 manufacturing jobs in just the last month. And do you remember the previous administration? We're not going to get manufacturing jobs anymore. I said, really? Tell that to your great governor. Tell that to your great governor, right? You're getting them here, Governor, aren't you, huh? And these are the great jobs. These are great jobs. High-paying jobs, talented people. I recently announced that we are replacing the horrible NAFTA deal, one of the worst trade deals, with an incredible brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. The USMCA is a giant victory for Indiana farmers, manufacturers, and dairy producers. You know how good it is. Great. It's great. And every time they said no, I said, that's okay, we'll just tariff your cars coming in. They said, okay, we'll give you that point. We have taken the toughest ever action to crack down on China's very abusive trade practices. And I spoke to President Xi today. They want to make a deal, but we have to have a fair deal. We have to have a deal that's fair for the United States. And China has to open up their borders for our companies. By the way, America is being respected again. Do you notice? America is being respected again. But every day with us, it's promises made, promises kept. And actually, we made a lot of promises, but we did a lot better than those promises. We have actually performed a lot better than even the promises we made. We have taken bold action to reduce the price of prescription drugs. You're going to see that. You've already seen it. To help critically ill patients get life-saving treatments, we passed something that they've been trying to pass for many decades. It's called Right to Try, where they can try our drugs that are looking promising, that are in our pipeline, right? Hopefully you don't have to worry about that. Hopefully there's nobody in this room that's going to have to worry about that. But it's a great thing for people. And by the way, some incredible stories, some incredible results already. After years of surging premiums, the cost of health care is finally coming down, and you see that. And by the way, we got rid of the mandate, right? We got rid of the individual mandate, folks. The most unpopular part. And we've decimated Obamacare, and now we're managing it properly, and your premiums aren't going up nearly as fast, but getting rid of the individual mandate, so many people have thanked me. You had the privilege of paying a fortune in order to have the privilege of not having to pay a fortune for bad health care, right? Not too good. Not too good. Not too good. It's gone. You don't have to pay not to have health care. Think of it. You're paying not to have health care. Great, great. And last month, I proudly signed the largest bill to fight the opioid epidemic in American history. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor, and the landmark accountability law for the veterans to ensure anyone who mistreats our veterans can be accountable, and immediately we look at that person and we say, you're fired, get out of here. We secured $700 billion and $716 billion to fully rebuild the United States military, and we gave our great warriors their largest pay raise in more than a decade. And they deserve it. And on my direction, and working with Mike Pence, the Pentagon is now working to create the sixth branch of the American Armed Forces called the Space Force. Very much needed, very much needed. That's where it's at. That's where it's all going. Defense, offense, that's where it's all going. I withdrew the United States from the horrible one-sided Iran nuclear deal. And just today we announced that we are reimposing all sanctions lifted under that ridiculous deal that should have never been signed in the first place. We will have in place the toughest ever sanctions on this brutal Iranian regime. And at some point, they're going to get very smart, and they're going to come back and negotiate a real deal, a fair deal, and a deal that lets them thrive. We want them to thrive. We have recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Together, we have made extraordinary progress, and we are just getting started. But the Democrats want to turn back the clock, put America in reverse, and give power back to a corrupt, selfish ruling class that only looks out for themselves. I know them well. But we are not going back. We're not going back. We're going forward. I need you to vote for a Republican House and a Republican Senate so we can continue this incredible movement, the greatest political movement in the history of our country. It is. And if it wasn't, and I said that, I'd have a lot of problems back then. It is the greatest movement in the history. Think of it. And it's about you. It's not about me. It's about you. Although I didn't do a bad job, right? Not bad. Not a bad job. It's about you. He says, keep winning. We're going to keep winning. This is a movement built on love for our nation and love for our fellow citizens. And with your votes, we will keep on cutting your taxes, reducing your regulations, and raising your incomes. We will protect Medicare and Social Security. And you remember on the debate stage, I would always defend Social Security when other guys wanted to tear it apart. Well, guess what? We haven't touched Social Security. We will defend your right to free speech, religious liberty, and we will continue to confirm judges who will interpret the Constitution as written. We will fully secure the border. We will pass Kate's Law. We will stop sanctuary cities, stop catch and release, end the visa lottery, end chain migration, and we will keep the criminals, drug dealers, and terrorists the hell out of our country. We will lift millions of our citizens from welfare to work, dependence to independence, and poverty to prosperity. For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. You know it well. Now you have a president who is standing up for America, and I always will. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for Indiana, and we are proudly standing up for our great national anthem. I am asking every citizen from every party and every background and every race and color and creed for your support so we can continue to deliver hope, opportunity, and justice for all Americans. I need you to get your family, get your friends, get your neighbors, get your coworkers, and go out and vote Republican. This Tuesday, I need the people of Indiana to send a message to Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and the radical Democrats by voting for Mike Braun. He will be a winner. He will be a winner. Remember, your senator that you currently have Sleeping Joe, last. He was last on the list. Last. He was last on the list. Remember that when you walk into the booth. I'm really speaking more to the television cameras than to you, because I don't think we have too many Donnelly voters. Anybody going to vote for Donnelly in this room? Not too many, Governor. I don't see any. Loyal citizens like you helped build this country, and together we are taking back our country, returning power to you, the American people. This great state was built by some of the toughest men and strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. These proud Indiana patriots braved the wilderness and defied the dangers to build a life and a home with their own two hands. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury. But they all had one thing in common. They loved their families. You know that. You do know that. They loved their families. What else did they love? They loved their country, and they loved their God. These courageous Americans did not shed their blood, their sweat, and their tears so that we could sit at home while others tried to erase their legacy, tear down our history, and destroy our proud American heritage. That's what it is. It's a proud American heritage. For the sake of our freedom and for the sake of our children, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win, win, win. We will not bend, we will not break, we will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory, always. Because we are Americans, and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And Indiana, together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.